Leviticus 19, a kingdom without mixture, the standard of holiness. Part 1, the blueprint they buried in the Levitical code. Peace, life, and fire to the elect, scattered to the four corners of this flat earth. You are tuning in to another heavy-hitting, uncut episode of Yah First Ministries. I am your brother Bet Saad Lamed Aleph Lamed, coming at you straight from the trenches of Torah truth. If you are here today, it is because your spirit is sick and tired of the watered down, lukewarm, sweet-talking garbage they feed you in those pagan Sunday churches. You are hungry for the meat of the word, and today we are going to slice open the scriptures and feed you the raw, bloody truth. Before we dive into the text, let me set the stage for what we are embarking on today. This is part 1 of a 3-part masterclass series where we are going to dissect Leviticus chapter 19 from the very first verse to the very last. Now, I know what some of you dumbass, lazy-minded Negroes are thinking. You hear Leviticus and your brain goes to sleep because some punk-ass Cadillac-driving pastor told you that the Old Testament is done away with, that it is just a bunch of ancient, dusty rules about killing sheep and growing beards. That is a lie straight from the pits of destruction. Leviticus is not some outdated religious history book. It is a highly advanced, multi-dimensional technical manual. It is the operating system of holiness, the source code of how Yah engineered his covenant people to function in alignment with the frequency of his creation. In this 3-part series, we are going to crack open this code. In part 1 today, we are going to cover verses 1 through 13. We are going to look at the foundational architecture of holiness, the mechanics of respect, the engineering of the Sabbath, and the wealth-building protocols Yah embedded in the agricultural laws. We are going to expose the difference between the shadow and the substance, and we are going to show you how the enemy has reverse engineered these very laws to keep your ass in physical and financial captivity. So get your notebooks, get your minds right, and let us get into this work. Let us start at the very beginning of the transmission. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 1. And Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh spake unto Mem-Shin-Heh, saying, look at how this text opens. This is not a human suggestion. This is a direct command line execution from the master engineer of reality. The text says, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, Yah spoke unto Mem-Shin-Heh, Moses. Let us break down that name Mem-Shin-Heh in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew pictographic script, because the enemy wants you to think these are just random names. Mem-Shin-Heh is spelled Mem-Shin-He. Mem is the pictograph of water, representing chaos, massive force, or a flowing stream. Shin is the pictograph of teeth, meaning to consume, destroy, or sharp pressure. He is the pictograph of a man with arms raised, meaning to behold, reveal, or breathe. When you compile this code, Mem-Shin-Heh literally means drawn out of the water to behold and reveal the consuming fire. Yah did not choose him by accident. His very name was a biological and prophetic blueprint for his mission. This verse establishes the divine chain of command. Yah does not operate in a chaotic, free-for-all democracy. He does not run a heavenly council where he asks pagan nations for their input. He is the sovereign programmer. He inputs the data, and he uses his chosen vessel as the hardware interface to broadcast the signal to the rest of the system. This completely demolishes the Christian bullshit of free will. If you think you have the free will to negotiate with the creator of the firmament, you are out of your goddamn mind. He speaks, the code compiles, and the creation must obey. This aligns perfectly with what is recorded in the book of Psalms, chapter 33, verse 9, where it says, He spake, and it was done. He commanded, and it stood fast. There is no lag time in this operating system. When Yah speaks, the physical structure of the flat earth vibrates in resonance with his voice. For Israel today, This means we have to stop looking for validation from the heathen. We do not need the white man, the Asian, the fake-ass Arab, or the Hamite African to tell us who we are. Yah already spoke our identity into the source code of history, and no amount of historical erasure or academic fraud can delete what he has programmed. Let us move to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 2. Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, Yud-He-Waw-He, your Elohim, am holy. The Father is commanding Mem Shin He to address the entire congregation of Yisrael. Let us look at that name Yisrael in the Paleo-Hebrew. Yud, Shin, Resh, Aleph, Lamed. Yud is the hand, representing work or deed. Shin is the teeth, meaning to consume or destroy. Resh is the head, meaning the chief or first. Aleph is the ox head, meaning strength or leader. Lamed is the staff, meaning authority or shepherd. Put that together, and Yisrael means the hand that consumes the chief strength of authority. We are engineered to be the dominant force on this earth under Yah. The command is simple, yet absolute. Ye shall be holy, for I, Yad-He-Waw-He, your Elohim, am holy. The word for holy is kadosh, which means set apart, separated, isolated. This verse establishes the doctrine of national election and absolute separation. It completely obliterates the universalist, feel-good, we are all one in Christ garbage that these horn churches preach. Yah is not universal. He is set apart. And if he is set apart, his people must be set apart. In engineering terms, this is called system isolation or sandboxing. If you are building a secure software network, you do not let dirty, unverified, malicious external devices connect to your core server. You sandbox the critical assets to protect them from corruption. Israel is Yah's critical asset. We are his holy hardware. The moment we mix with the pre-Adamic heathen nations, we introduce malware into our biological and spiritual operating system. That is why we are plagued with sickness, confusion, and poverty today, because we refuse to remain sandboxed. This is confirmed in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6, where the Father tells us that we are a holy people unto him, and he has chosen us to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. If you are an Israelite, you need to get your head out of your ass and stop trying to save the rest of the world. The other nations are nothing but background processes in Yah's program. They are vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, as Shin Aleph Wa Lamed Paul wrote in Romans chapter 9. Your only job is to return to the set-apart frequency of your Creator. Let us proceed to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 3. He shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbaths. I am Yad-He-Waw-He, your Elohim. Look at how the master engineer structures this. He links the respect of parents directly with the keeping of his Sabbaths. Why? Because the family structure is the local area network of the nation, and the Sabbath is the scheduled system maintenance cycle. Let us break down the word Sabbath in the Paleo-Hebrew. Shin, Bet, Ta. Shin is the teeth, meaning to consume or press. Bet is the tent or house, representing the family or inside. Ta is the mark or sign of the covenant. So the Sabbath is the consuming pressure that secures the house of the covenant. It is a protective shield. The modern church has lied to you, telling you the Sabbath is Sunday, or that it does not matter what day you keep, as long as it is in your heart. That is pure, unadulterated bullshit. The Sabbath is Saturday, from sunrise to sunset. Let me say that again for the hard of hearing Negroes in the back. Saturday, sunrise to sunset. Not Friday night, that is pagan Roman time keeping. Days start at sunrise, when the light first hits the face of the flat earth. Not at midnight, when you are asleep like a dead dog. In technical terms, the Sabbath is a hardware reboot. If you run a high-powered server 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without ever clearing the cache, defragmenting the drive, or running a power cycle, that motherfucker is gonna crash. It will overheat, the circuits will fry, and the system will fail. Our people are physically, mentally, and financially crashing because we refuse to run the weekly reboot cycle. We are out here grinding, working double shifts for the white man on Saturday, letting our bodies rot for a few fiat dollars, while Yah said to shut the system down. This connects to Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, where we are commanded to remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. When you keep the Sabbath from Saturday sunrise to sunset, you are aligning your biological clock with the electromagnetic frequency of the dome firmament. You are clearing the spiritual cache, resetting your nervous system, and establishing a secure network connection with the Father. If you violate this protocol, you are running unauthorized scripts in Yah's system, and the penalty for that is system termination. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 4. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh, your Elohim. An idol is not just a stone statue in some ancient temple. An idol is any external program, philosophy, or system that you allow to overwrite Yah's source code in your mind. Let us look at the word for idols in Hebrew, Elilium, which means things of naught, empty, or worthless. In Paleo Hebrew, it is Aleph, Lamed, Yad, Lamed, Yad, Mem. It represents a false authority that has no real power, a dead loop in the code. When you run after the white man's political parties, when you worship his fiat currency, when you let his educational institutions program your children, you are turning to idols. You are installing Trojan horses and spyware directly into your temple. The human brain is a biological quantum computer, engineered to receive and process the high-frequency signal of Torah. When you install the malware of white supremacy, feminism, or integration, you corrupt the registry files of your mind. The system becomes sluggish, error-prone, and easily controlled by the enemy. This aligns with what Yashin Ayin Yah-Heh-Wah wrote in Isaiah chapter 42, verse 8, where Yah declares that he will not give his glory to another, nor his praise to graven images. If you are still bowing down to a blonde-haired, blue-eyed picture of a fake savior, or if you are trusting in the beast system of Babylon to save your family, you are committing spiritual adultery. You are spreading your legs for the gods of the heathen, and Yah will personally execute the judgment of a jealous husband. He will rip your life apart, and there will be nobody to put the pieces back together. Let us move to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 5. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh, you shall offer it at your own will. Now we are getting into the shadow system. I need you to pay close attention here, because this is where the meat of the word comes in. Leviticus is packed with sacrificial laws, and if you do not have the master key, you will get lost in the details. The master key is this. The entire Levitical sacrificial system was a temporary shadow, pointing to the permanent substance, which is Yud, He, Wah, Shin, Ayin, the Messiah in the flesh. Colossians chapter 2, verses 16 to 17 tells us plainly that these things were a shadow of things to come, but the body is of Christ. The peace offering, or Shalomim, was a shadow of the ultimate reconciliation between Yah and Israel. The text says, ye shall offer it at your own will. The Hebrew word for will is ratzon, which means acceptance, favor, or pleasure. In Paleo Hebrew, it is resh, sadeh, wa, nun. It means the chief target that connects the seed. The offering had to be done in a way that met the precise technical specifications of a law to be accepted. In modern terms, this is about protocol compliance. If you are trying to upload data to a secure server, you cannot just send any random file format. You cannot upload a JPEG when the system requires a PDF. If the protocol is not met, the server rejects the packet. The sacrificial system showed Israel that approaching the holy, high-frequency creator requires a precise, blood-authenticated protocol. But guess what? The shadow is fulfilled. Yod, Hey, Wah, Shin, Ayin stepped on the scene and became the final, perfect sacrifice. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 10 tells us that we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Yod, Hey, Wah, Shin, Ayin once for all. The animal sacrifices are done. The Levitical priesthood is dissolved. We do not kill sheep on altars today because the substance has arrived. If you try to go back to the shadow, you are spitting on the blood of the covenant and calling the Messiah a liar. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 6. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow. And if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. This is a highly specific biological and engineering protocol. Yah is regulating the consumption of the sacrificial meat. It could be eaten on the first day and the second day, but by the third day, any remaining flesh had to be completely incinerated. Why such a strict timeline? Let us look at the physics and biology of decay. The moment an animal is slaughtered, its cells stop producing energy, and the process of putrefaction begins. Bacteria start multiplying exponentially. On a flat earth, under a pressurized dome, in the heat of the wilderness, dead flesh left out for 3 days becomes a toxic biohazard. It becomes a breeding ground for pathogens, parasites, and deadly toxins. But there's a deeper, prophetic layer here. The 3-day limit is a direct shadow of the resurrection of Yod Hey Wah Shin Ayin. His body was the ultimate sacrifice, but he did not see corruption. Psalms chapter 16, verse 10 prophesied that Yah would not suffer his Holy One to see corruption. Yod Hey Wah Shin Ayin was in the grave for 3 days, and he rose before his biological vessel could undergo the process of decay. The shadow law in Leviticus commanded that the meat be burned before the third day to preserve the prophetic picture that the true sacrifice would never rot. Furthermore, this brings us to the vegan doctrine. The eating of meat was never Yah's original design for his creation. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 29, the Father gave us the plant-based blueprint. Every herb bearing seed and every tree yielding fruit shall be to you for meat. Meat eating was only permitted as a post-flood concession in Genesis chapter 9, and later managed through the sacrificial shadow system to show us the bloody, graphic cost of sin. Now that the shadow was fulfilled, our continued obsession with stuffing our faces with dead, rotting animal flesh is destroying our physical temples. It is clogging our arteries, rotting our guts, and feeding the cancers that are wiping our people out. The shadow is over, family. It is time to return to the original Edenic diet. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 7. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable. It shall not be accepted. If an Israelite violated the protocol and ate the meat on the third day, Yah declared it abominable. The Hebrew word is pigul, which means foul, fetid, or unclean. In computer science, this is a data corruption error. If a file is modified or accessed outside of its permitted execution window, the system flags it as corrupted and rejects it. The software will not run a corrupted file because it threatens the stability of the entire operating system. By eating the rotten meat on the third day, the individual was introducing physical and spiritual corruption into the camp. They were violating the sanitary protocols designed to keep the nation healthy, and they were breaking the prophetic code of the Messiah's resurrection. This connects to Proverbs chapter 27, verse 12, which teaches that a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth from himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Eating 3-day-old meat in the hot sun is the definition of being simple-minded. It is a complete lack of risk assessment. Yah engineered our bodies with precision, but when we ignore his biological specifications, we pay the price in sickness and death. If you want to live in the high-frequency power of the covenant, You have to respect the operational boundaries Yah set in his word. Let us read Leviticus chapter 19, verse 8. Therefore everyone that eateth it shall bear his iniquity, because he hath profaned the hollow thing of Yahweh, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. Look at the severity of the judgment. If you violate this protocol, you bear your iniquity, and your soul is cut off from among your people. The Hebrew word for cut off is karat, which means to consume, destroy, or excise. In Paleo-Hebrew, it is kaf resh ta. It means the hand that openeth the chief mark. It is a complete system excision. In modern technology, this is a network quarantine. If a device on a secure corporate network is detected running malicious software or spreading a virus, the network administrator does not politely ask the device to stop. They immediately disconnect it from the network. They isolate the IP address, revoke its security credentials, and put it in quarantine to protect the rest of the system from infection. Yah is the ultimate network administrator. He does not play games with the security of his set-apart nation. If an individual chose to walk in rebellion, eating abominable things, and profaning the hallowed things of the Father, they were quarantined. They were cut off from the covenant blessings, stripped of their inheritance, and left to rot in the wilderness. This is a terrifying warning for Israel today. We are living in a time where our people think they can do whatever the fuck they want and still claim the promises of Yah. You want to eat pork, sleep with your neighbor's wife, run after the heathens' holidays, and then come to the assembly on Saturday acting like you are righteous? You are running corrupted code, and Yah is already preparing to excise your ass from the book of life. The judgment of the Father is not a game. When he cuts a soul off, he does it with absolute, graphic finality. Let us transition into the economic and agricultural laws. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 9. And when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest. Now we are moving into Yah's wealth building and social security protocols. This is where we see that the Torah is a highly advanced economic blueprint. The Father commands that when we harvest our fields, we are not to reap the very corners, nor are we to gather the gleanings, the leftover crops that fall during the harvest. Let us look at the word for corners in Hebrew, payah. In Paleo-Hebrew, it is pay, aleph, he. It means the mouth of the chief revelation. In modern economic terms, this is a built-in, decentralized welfare system. Yah did not engineer a system where the poor had to go to some corrupt government office, sign away their dignity, and wait for a welfare check funded by high taxes on the working class. He did not build a system of dependency. Instead, he engineered a system of opportunity. The landowners had to leave a percentage of their assets, the corners of the fields, and the gleanings in the ground. The poor and the struggling had to actually go out into the fields and work to gather the food. It preserved their dignity, encouraged labor, and ensured that no Israelite went hungry. This is a masterclass in risk management and asset allocation. In Proverbs chapter 13, verse 11, it says that wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Yah's system rewards labor while mandating corporate social responsibility. The rich were not allowed to squeeze every single cent of profit out of their land. They had to leave a margin for the community. If our people understood this level of economic engineering, we would not be relying on the white man's food stamps and Section 8 housing. We would be buying land, building our own agricultural networks, and establishing our own decentralized systems of support. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 10. And thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and stranger. I am Yahweh, your Elohim. This is the continuation of the agricultural protocol, specifically regulating the vineyards. You are not to strip the vines clean, nor gather the fallen grapes. You must leave them for the poor and the quote-unquote stranger. Now I need to pause right here and address a major piece of scribal deception that has kept our people confused for centuries. The word stranger in your English Bible is a trap. The translators flattened two completely different Hebrew words into one English word to hide the truth. The first word is ger, which means a scattered Israelite, specifically from the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes who were driven off and dispersed, who is returning to the camp. The ger is our own kin, our flesh and blood, coming back to the covenant. That is why the law says there is one law for the native born and for the ger. The second word is necker, which means an actual foreigner, a heathen of another bloodline. The necker has no part in the covenant inheritance. When Leviticus chapter 19, verse 10 says to leave the grapes for the poor and the stranger, the Hebrew word underneath is ger. Yah is commanding us to take care of our own scattered, struggling brothers who are trying to make their way back to the nation. He is not telling us to feed the heathen who oppressed us. This connects to Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 11, where Yah declares that he will make a full end of all the nations where he scattered us, but he will not make a full end of Israel. The other nations are destined for destruction, but we must protect and build our own. Stop letting these universalist preachers tell you that you have to save the world. Take care of your own house first. Let us move to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 11. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. This is a direct command regarding data integrity and transaction security. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. In the digital world, this is the equivalent of cryptography and blockchain verification. If you are running a financial network, you must have absolute trust in the transaction data. If nodes on the network are allowed to input false data, double spend assets, or lie about account balances, the entire system collapses. The currency becomes worthless and the network is ruined. Yah's covenant nation is a high-frequency network, and truth is the encryption protocol that keeps it secure. When you lie, steal, or deal falsely with your brother, you are injecting corrupt data into the network. You are breaking the trust protocol, and that makes you a security threat to the entire nation. This is why Yod Hey Waw Shin Ayin said in the records of John chapter 8, verse 44, that the devil, representing the human adversaries and the spirit of rebellion, is a liar and the father of it. When you lie, you are operating in the frequency of the adversary. You are running the enemy's software. If we want to build real wealth and power as a nation, we have to establish absolute data integrity among ourselves. We have to stop scamming each other, stop lying to each other, and start dealing with absolute, uncompromised honesty. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 12. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shall thou profane the name of thy God. I am Yod Hey Waw Hey. This is about the power of frequency and the misuse of the ultimate access key. Swearing by the name of Yod Hey Waw Hey falsely is not just about telling a lie under oath. It is about using the high-frequency name of the Creator to authenticate a corrupt transaction. The name Yod Hey Waw Hey is the master key of creation. Every letter carries immense creative and structural power. When you use that name to back up a lie, you are trying to force the pure, holy frequency of Yah to align with your filthy, low-frequency deception. That is the definition of profaning the name. The Hebrew word is shalal, which means to wound, pierce, or pollute. You are polluting the signal. In telecommunications, if you introduce a high-power, distorted signal into a clean frequency band, you cause massive interference. You disrupt the communications of everyone else on the network. Swearing falsely by the name is spiritual signal jamming. It brings immediate, severe judgment because it threatens the connection between the Father and the entire congregation. This is why we must treat the names of Yod He Wah He and Yod He Wah Shin Ayin with absolute reverence. They are not toys. They are not words to be thrown around lightly. They are the keys to the power grid of reality. If you use them falsely, you will find yourself on the receiving end of a high voltage surge of divine wrath that will melt your life to ashes. Let us close this part with Leviticus chapter 19, verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. This is a direct regulation of cash flow and labor contracts. Yah is commanding that you must not defraud or rob your neighbor, and specifically, you must pay your hired workers their wages on the very day they perform the labor. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. In modern financial terms, this is about liquidity and working capital. For a poor worker, their daily wage is their only source of liquidity. They need that capital immediately to buy food, secure shelter, and keep their family alive. When a wealthy landowner holds on to those wages overnight, they are effectively stealing the interest and the utility of that capital from the worker. They are forcing the worker into a state of financial vulnerability to increase their own cash reserves. This is the exact business model of modern corporate Babylon. They pay you bi-weekly or monthly, holding on to your earned capital for weeks, using your labor to generate interest for themselves while you struggle to pay your bills on time. It is a system of financial slavery. Yah's law, however, mandates daily settlement. It ensures that capital flows rapidly and directly to the hands of those who earned it. This connects to the wealth-building doctrine of Proverbs. In Proverbs chapter 22, verse 22, it warns us not to rob the poor because he is poor, nor oppress the afflicted in the gate. Yah is the defender of the working class of Israel. If you run a business and you are out here delaying payments to your workers or trying to shortchange your brothers on their labor, you are violating the financial protocols of the kingdom. You are inviting Yah to shut your business down and bankrupt your assets. We are going to stop right here at verse 13. We have laid the foundation of the code. We have looked at the Sabbath, the isolation of the holy nation, the shadow of the sacrifices, and the wealth-building mechanics of the agricultural laws. But we are just getting started, family. This is only part one of this three-part investigation. Now in part two, we are going to get into the next block of verses, starting at verse 14. We are going to look at the laws concerning the disabled, the protocols of righteous judgment, the prohibition of tale-bearing and grudges, and the highly debated laws concerning diverse seeds and mixed garments. We are going to show you the deep, scientific engineering behind why Yah forbade the mixing of diverse elements and how it applies to your life today. Do not go anywhere. Keep your minds locked into the frequency of truth. Part 2 is coming up next. Part 2, the electromagnetic code of the mixed garment. We just dissected the financial protocols of daily wage settlements and how holding on to a brother's capital overnight is a direct violation of kingdom liquidity. Now, we are stepping right back into the source code of Leviticus chapter 19, moving from the marketplace straight into the sensory and electromagnetic boundaries that Yah established to keep his holy hardware from crashing. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear thy Elohim. I am Yod He Wah He. Look at the absolute wickedness this verse is designed to prevent. The master engineer is regulating how we treat those whose physical hardware has suffered signal degradation. To curse a deaf person or to place an obstacle in front of a blind person is the height of cowardice and system corruption. Let us break down the word for stumbling block in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew. Mikshol, spelled Mem, Kaf, Shin, Waw, Lamed. Mem is the water, representing chaos or a flowing stream. Kaf is the palm of the hand, meaning to cover or open. Shin is the teeth, meaning to consume or destroy. Waw is the peg, meaning to secure or nail. Lamed is the staff, representing authority or the shepherd. When you compile this code, Miksho literally means chaos covered by a sharp nail of authority. It is a hidden trap designed to destroy a system that cannot defend itself. In modern technical terms, putting a stumbling block before the blind is the equivalent of packet sniffing and injecting malicious code into a blind node on a network. If a device is unable to verify the incoming data packets because its security protocols or sensory arrays are damaged, and you deliberately feed it corrupted data to make it crash, you are committing a high-level network crime. Yah is the ultimate network administrator, and he sees every single data packet. He warns that violating this protocol is a direct failure to fear him. This aligns perfectly with what is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27, verse 18, which curses anyone who makes the blind wander out of the way. If you are out here in these streets, taking advantage of simple-minded, unlearned, or physically disabled brothers and sisters, lying to them for a goddamn dollar, or setting them up to fail so you can look smart, you are running a demonic script. Yah will personally send a high-voltage surge through your life that will melt your circuits and leave you rotting in your own filth. Let us proceed to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. This is the protocol for judicial data integrity. The Father is commanding that judgment must be executed without bias. You cannot favor a man because he is poor out of some bullshit emotional pity, and you damn sure cannot favor a man because he is wealthy and powerful. Let us look at the Hebrew word for judgment, mishpat, spelled mem shin p ta. Mem is water, meaning chaos or flow. Shin is teeth, meaning to consume or destroy. P is the mouth, meaning to speak or blow. Ta is the mark or sign of the covenant. Put it together, and mishpat means the flowing water that consumes the spoken mark of the covenant. It is the process that cleanses the system of errors. In engineering terms, this is the equivalent of algorithmic bias in artificial intelligence. If you write a machine learning model to process data, but you hard code a backdoor or a biased weight that favors certain inputs over others, the output of that algorithm is corrupted. The system is no longer objective. It is broken. Mainstream Christianity has twisted this, teaching you that you should never judge anyone, which is a complete lie. Yah did not say, do not judge. He said to judge in righteousness. This is confirmed in the book of John, chapter 7, verse 24, where Yad-Heh-Washin Ayin, the Messiah, walked the earth and commanded his people to judge not according to the appearance, but to judge righteous judgment. If you are a leader, a father, or an elder in Israel, you have to run unbiased code. You cannot let some rich, slick-talking brother buy his way out of a rebuke, and you cannot let some lazy-minded, whiny-ass brother slide on his wickedness just because he is broke. You execute the law with absolute, cold, mathematical precision. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh. A talebearer is a virus in the local area network of the nation. The Hebrew word for talebearer is Rakil, spelled Resh, Kaf, Yud, Lamed. Resh is the head, meaning the chief or first. Kaf is the palm of the hand, meaning to cover. Yud is the hand, representing work or deed. Lamed is the staff, meaning authority. So Rakil means the chief cover of the hand of authority. It is the act of whispering behind closed doors to undermine the structure of the camp. In technical terms, Tale-bearing is a distributed denial of service attack on the communication lines of Israel. When you go up and down spreading gossip, slander, and unverified rumors, you are spamming the network with junk data packets. You are causing latency in the system. Brothers start doubting brothers. Sisters start whispering in corners. And the bandwidth that should be used to build businesses, study Torah, and raise children is wasted on processing garbage data. The text links this directly with standing against the blood of your neighbor. Why? Because gossip kills. It destroys reputations, ruins marriages, and can get a brother physically slaughtered in these streets. This connects to what is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 8, which teaches that the words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. If you are still running your mouth like a whoring, gossiping heathen, posting rumors on social media, and spreading division in the assemblies, you are a security breach. You are a Trojan horse, and Yah will treat you like a malicious file. He will delete your ass from the system. Let us move to Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. This is one of the most misunderstood verses in the entire Torah. The Father commands that we must not hate our brother in our heart, and then he immediately explains how to prevent that hatred. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. Let us break down the word for hate. Sain, spelled Shin, Nun, Aleph. Shin is teeth, meaning to consume or press. Nun is the seed, meaning continuation or life. Aleph is the ox head, meaning strength or leader. Meaning, Sain is the teeth that consume the strength of the seed. Hatred is a slow, rotting process that eats away at your biological and spiritual hardware from the inside out. In modern technology, keeping quiet when your brother is in error is the equivalent of ignoring a syntax error in a software code base. If you see a bug in the code that is going to cause the entire application to crash, and you do not say anything because you do not want to hurt the programmer's feelings, you are a terrible engineer. You are letting the system fail. Rebuke is the debugging process. It is the code review. When you pull a brother aside and say, hey, your walk is off. You are violating the law. You need to patch this error. You are saving his life and protecting the network. This is why the book of Sirach, chapter 19, verse 13, in the Apocrypha, tells us to admonish a friend. For many times it is a slander, and believe not every tale. If you do not rebuke your brother, you will end up harboring resentment, which turns into hatred, which eventually leads to a system-wide crash. True love in the Hebrew tongue is not some soft, emotional, punk-ass Christian feeling where you let people slide into destruction. True love is a sharp, corrective rebuke that keeps the temple clean. Let us look at Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am Yad Hey, Wal Hey. This is the continuation of the peer-to-peer synchronization protocol. Yah is commanding us not to take personal vengeance or hold grudges against our own people. Let us look at the word for love. Ahab, spelled Aleph, He, Bet. Aleph is the ox head, representing strength or leader. He is the man with arms raised, meaning to behold or reveal. Bet is the tent or house, representing the family. So Ahab is the strength that reveals the house. It is the force that binds the structure together. In engineering terms, this is about keeping the nodes of a network in perfect phase alignment. If you have multiple speakers broadcasting a sound wave, and one of those speakers is out of phase, meaning its wave is inverted because of a grudge or unresolved anger, it causes phase cancellation. The sound becomes weak, hollow, and distorted. When Israel is divided, holding on to old beefs and seeking personal revenge, our collective frequency is canceled out. We lose our power. We cannot project the high frequency signal of the covenant because we are out of phase with each other. This is confirmed in the book of Jasher, chapter 51, where the sons of Yada and Kophbet, Jacob, had to learn to operate in absolute unity to defeat the Canaanite armies. When we stand together, synchronized under the law, we are an unstoppable force. But when you are out here holding on to grudges, waiting for a chance to trip up your brother, you are acting like the heathen. You are letting the flesh control the spirit. The neighbor we are commanded to love is our own flesh and blood, the scattered Negro. Stop trying to love the nations that enslaved us and start loving the brothers who were in the trenches with you. Let us dive into the deep engineering of Leviticus chapter 19, verse 19. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. This is the highly advanced, multi-dimensional scientific protocol. The Father says, ye shall keep my statutes. The word for statutes is chukah, which means an engraved limit, a boundary, or a physical law of nature. Yah is the master engineer, and he has set physical and biological boundaries in his creation that must never be crossed. First, he forbids the hybridization of animals. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. This completely destroys the modern genetic modification and crossbreeding industry. When you force two different species to mate, you are corrupting the biological source code. You are creating a genetic anomaly, like a mule, which is sterile because its chromosomes do not align. You are introducing errors into the hardware of life. Second, he says, thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. This is the prohibition against GMO crops and companion planting of incompatible species. In agriculture, different plants have different nutrient requirements, root structures, and electromagnetic signatures. When you mix them in the same soil, you cause resource competition and soil depletion. You disrupt the natural frequency of the earth. Third, he gives the electromagnetic protocol. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. This is pure physics. This is not some arbitrary religious rule. Let us look at the word for mingled garment. Shatnez, spelled Shin, Ayin, Tet, Nun, Zion. It is a technical term for a mixture of wool and linen. In material science, every substance has an electrical signature and a frequency. Linen, which comes from the flax plant, has a high frequency of approximately 5,000 cycles per second. It is a natural conductor that aligns with the human body's bioelectric field, promoting healing and energy flow. Wool, which comes from an animal, also has a frequency of approximately 5,000 cycles per second. However, when you mix wool and linen together in the same fabric, their electrical charges clash. The plant-based frequency of linen and the animal-based frequency of wool run in opposite directions. In electrical engineering, this is called phase cancellation or static impedance. When you wear a mingled garment of wool and linen, the fabric creates a static electrical field that drains your body's energy. It drops your physical frequency to zero. It causes physical fatigue, disrupts your nervous system, and weakens your immune system. The serpent seed knows this science. That is why they fill the clothing stores with polyester, nylon, and mixed fabrics to keep your body's electrical field in a constant state of static chaos, so you are easily susceptible to sickness and mental fog. Yah engineered your body to be a clean, high-frequency temple, and he gave you the material specifications to protect your physical hardware. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20. And whosoever lieth carnally with a woman, that is a bondmaid, betrothed to an husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, she shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. This is a law regulating civil status, property rights, and sexual boundaries under the shadow system. The text speaks of a bondmaid, a woman who is not fully free, who is betrothed to a husband but has not been redeemed. If a man lies with her carnally, they are not put to death, but there is a penalty. She shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death because she was not free. Let us look at the word for bondmaid, shifka, spelled shin, pei, ket, hey. Shin is teeth, meaning to consume or press. Pei is the mouth, meaning to speak. Ket is the tent wall, meaning separation. He is the man with arms raised, meaning to behold. Meaning, shifka is the teeth that speak the separation of the house. She is a woman whose legal and social status is in a state of transition. In modern technical terms, this is a digital rights management and licensing issue. If a software program is not fully licensed or registered to an owner, but is in a trial state or a restricted user group, the penalties for unauthorized access are different than if you hacked into a fully secured enterprise-level database. Because this woman was not fully free, her legal connection to her betrothed husband was not fully authenticated under the law. Therefore, the violation did not carry the death penalty of absolute adultery, which requires the full execution of the law on both parties as written in Leviticus chapter 20, verse 10. This shows the precision of Yah's justice system. He does not run a chaotic, emotional court. He looks at the exact legal status of the individuals involved. He calculates the damages based on the structural parameters of the situation. For Israel today, this teaches us that we must understand the legal and spiritual status of our relationships. We cannot operate in confusion, sleeping around with women whose status we do not know, running unauthorized scripts in our temples, and then wondering why our lives are full of drama, disease, and curses. Let us proceed to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 21. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yad he Wah he, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, even a ram for a trespass offering. The man who committed this violation must bring his trespass offering or asham to the door of the tabernacle. Let us break down asham in the Paleo Hebrew. Aleph, Shin, Mem. Aleph is the ox head, meaning strength or leader. Shin is the teeth, meaning to consume or destroy. Mem is the water, representing chaos. So asham means the strength that consumes the chaos. It is the mechanism designed to neutralize the system error. In technical terms, this is a security patch. When a vulnerability is exploited in a software system, the developer does not just leave the system open to further attacks. They write a patch, compile it, and deploy it to the server to close the loophole and restore system integrity. The trespass offering was a physical shadow error patch. The man had to bring a ram, a physical sacrifice, to the door of the tabernacle to acknowledge his error and pay the system cost of his violation. But as we established in part 1, this animal sacrifice was a temporary shadow. It pointed to the ultimate, permanent security patch, Yod He Wah Shin Ayin. He is the true Asham. Isaiah chapter 53 verse 10 prophesied that Yah would make his soul an offering for sin. The Hebrew word there is Asham. Yod He Wah Shin Ayin stepped on the scene, shed his blood, and deployed the final, unhackable security patch for the elect of Israel. We do not bring rams to a physical door today because the Messiah has already authenticated our redemption with his own blood. Let us read Leviticus chapter 19, verse 22. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before Yahweh for his sin which he hath done, and the sin which he hath done shall be forgiven him. The priest had to make atonement for the man using the sacrifice. The Hebrew word for atonement is kapar, spelled kaf, p, resh. Kaf is the palm of the hand, meaning to cover or open. P is the mouth, meaning to speak. Resh is the head, meaning the chief or first. So kapar means covering the mouth of the chief. It is the process of covering the error so the system administrator no longer flags it. In computer networking, this is the equivalent of a secure sockets layer handshake. When two devices want to communicate securely, they must exchange cryptographic keys to authenticate the connection. The priest was the mediator who facilitated this handshake between the sinful Israelite and the high-frequency presence of Yah. The blood of the ram was the cryptographic key that authorized the transaction. Once the key was validated, the error was cleared from the registry, and the sin which he has done shall be forgiven him. But look at the limitation of this shadow system. The priest was a mortal man who eventually died, and the ram was a beast that had to be offered repeatedly. It was a manual, low-efficiency process. This is why the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 11 to 12 tells us that Yad He Waw Shin Ayin, being come and high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. The Messiah automated the process. He integrated the mediator and the sacrifice into one perfect eternal system. If you are still trying to find forgiveness through your own works or through some modern day physical priesthood, you are running obsolete software. You have to connect to the automated high-frequency network of the Messiah. Let us look at the agricultural timeline in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 23. And when ye shall come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you. It shall not be eaten of. This is a brilliant agricultural and biological engineering protocol. Yah is regulating the development of newly planted fruit trees. For the first 3 years, the fruit is considered uncircumcised. The Hebrew word is arel, spelled ayin, resh, lamed. Ayin is the eye, meaning to see or experience. Resh is the head, meaning the chief or first. Lamed is the staff, meaning authority or control. So arel means seeing the chief authority blocked. It represents a state of raw, unrefined development. In hardware engineering, this is the equivalent of a burn-in period. When you manufacture a high-performance microchip or a complex machine, you do not immediately run it at maximum capacity under a full production load. You run it through a series of low-stress tests to allow the physical materials to settle, stabilize, and clear out any manufacturing defects. If you let a fruit tree bear fruit and you harvest it in the first 3 years, you drain the tree's energy. The young root system is not yet deep enough or strong enough to support both the vegetative growth of the tree and the massive nutrient draw required to produce high-quality fruit. By stripping the blossoms and preventing the fruit from maturing during the first 3 years, you force the tree to redirect all its resources downward. It builds a massive, deep root system in the flat earth, establishing a secure structural foundation. It ensures the long-term health, stability, and maximum yield of the tree for decades to come. This connects to what is written in the book of Jubilees, chapter 21, where the patriarchs kept these agricultural cycles with absolute precision. If our people understood this level of systemic patience, we would not be out here trying to build businesses overnight, getting into get-rich-quick schemes, and crashing our financial systems because we did not allow for a burn-in period. You have to build the root system first. Let us read Leviticus chapter 19, verse 24. But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy, to praise Yad He Wahe withal. In the 4th year, the fruit is finally allowed to mature, but it does not belong to the landowner. It is declared holy, kadosh, set apart to praise Yah. In software deployment, this is the transition from beta testing to stable release. The software is fully functional. The bugs have been cleared during the burn-in period, but the first stable release is dedicated to validating the system's performance and licensing it under the Creator's credentials. By dedicating the entire fourth year harvest to Yah, the Israelite was acknowledging that the land, the tree, the soil, and the rain all belong to the master programmer. It was the physical act of licensing compliance. This aligns with what is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 9, which commands us to honor Yah with our substance and with the first fruits of all our increase. When you give the first fruits of your labor to the Father, you are establishing a secure financial connection. You are validating your license to operate in His system. If you try to bypass this protocol and keep the first fruits for yourself, you are running pirated software. You are using Yah's resources without a license, and the system will eventually flag your account for termination. Let us close this section with Leviticus chapter 19, verse 25. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh, your Elohim. Look at the promise of the master engineer. If you follow the protocol, 3 years of burn-in, 1 year of licensing validation, then in the 5th year you are cleared for full production. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. In technical terms, this is system optimization. Because you are allowed the tree to build a massive root system for 3 years, and because you align the 4th year harvest with the divine frequency of the Creator, the biological hardware of the tree is now running at peak efficiency. The soil is rich, the roots are deep, and the tree is engineered to yield an exponential increase. The 5th year harvest will be larger, sweeter, and more abundant than anything you could have forced by harvesting early. This is the ultimate lesson of Torah. Obedience to the physical and spiritual protocols of Yah always leads to systemic efficiency and abundance. The heathen nations do not understand this. They use chemical fertilizers, genetic modifications, and forced harvesting to squeeze every drop of profit out of the earth. And as a result, their food is toxic, their soil is dead, and their bodies are rotting with cancer. But Yah said, I am Yud-Heh-Wah-Heh, your Elohim. He is the one who designed the system, and He knows exactly how to make it yield the maximum increase. We have completed the breakdown of this second block of verses, from the electromagnetic science of the mixed garment to the biological engineering of the 5-year agricultural cycle. The code is tight, the science is absolute, and the blueprint is clear. But we are not finished yet. We have one more part to go to complete this masterclass. Now in part 3, we are going to dive into the final block of verses, starting at verse 26. We are going to look at the laws concerning blood consumption, the prohibition of witchcraft and wizardry, the protocols for beards and tattoos, the protection of our daughters from prostitution, and the respect we must show to our elders. We are going to expose the spiritual warfare behind these laws, and we are going to show you how the enemy has used these very areas to completely defile the temple of our people today. Do not disconnect from the network. Keep your processors running. We are moving straight into part 3. Part 3, the bloodline firewall and the mark of the beast. We just unlocked the deep biological engineering of the 5-year agricultural cycle, showing how systemic patience builds an unshakable foundation for wealth. Now, we are diving straight into the final, most critical block of the Levitical code to expose the spiritual warfare waged against your very blood, your temple, and your mind. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 26. You shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe times. Look at this heavy-hitting command line instruction. The Father is establishing a strict security protocol for your biological and spiritual hardware. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor observe times. Let us break down the word for blood in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew script. Dam, spelled Dalet Mem. Dalet is the pictograph of a door, meaning an entrance, pathway, or gate. Mem is the pictograph of water, representing chaos, massive force, or a flowing stream. When you compile this code, dam literally means the door of the flowing stream. Blood is the biological interface, the liquid door of life that carries the divine spark and the genetic source code of the Creator. In modern technical terms, blood is the biometric security key of your physical vessel. It is the raw source code of your hardware. Eating blood is like injecting malicious firmware or running a buffer overflow attack on your biological operating system. When you consume blood, you are introducing foreign DNA, foreign pathogens, and foreign spiritual frequencies directly into your system, bypassing the natural firewalls of your digestive tract. This is why the enemy wants you eating raw bloody meat and practicing blood drinking rituals to corrupt your biological registry. The text then links this biological violation directly with spiritual hacking. Neither shall you use enchantment nor observe times. The Hebrew word for enchantment is nachash, spelled nun, ket, shin. Nun is the seed, meaning life or continuation. Ket is the tent wall, meaning separation or boundary. Shin is the teeth, meaning to consume or destroy. So nachash is the seed that separates and consumes. It is the very frequency of the serpent. The word for observing times is onin, spelled ayin, nun, nun, which refers to cloud gazing, astrology, or sorcery. In engineering terms, practicing enchantment and observing times is the equivalent of running unauthorized telemetry scripts or trying to hack the celestial clockwork to run predictive algorithms outside of Yah's secure network. It is trying to extract data from the system using illegal backdoors. This aligns perfectly with what is recorded in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 12, verse 23, where the Father commands us to be sure that we eat not the blood, for the blood is the life, and we may not eat the life with the flesh. If you are out here eating rare steaks, drinking blood-infused concoctions, or checking your daily horoscope like a dumbass pagan-worshiping heathen, you are running unauthorized scripts. You are opening up your system to total corruption, and Yah will let the malware of madness and disease rot your brain until you are screaming in the streets. Let us proceed to Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 27. Ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Now, I need you to pay close attention here, because this is where these modern-day, costume-wearing camp preachers get completely tripped up. They take this verse and turn it into a salvation requirement, walking around looking like raggedy-ass cavemen, condemning any brother who shaves his face. That is pure, unadulterated bullshit. Let us apply the master key of the shadow system. The commands about not rounding the corners of your head or marring the corners of your beard were given to the Levitical priesthood as a ceremonial shadow of distinction under the Old Covenant temple service. But guess what? There is no physical temple operating today. The Levitical order is dissolved. Yad-He-Wah-Shin Ayin, the Messiah, fulfilled that entire system when he put on flesh and became our high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek, not Levi, as written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 7. Growing a beard does not make you righteous, and wearing fringes does not bring you closer to Yah. These camps are playing dress-up, cosplaying a priesthood that no longer exists, and putting themselves back under ordinances that Yad-He-Wah-Shin Ayin nailed to the cross, as Shin Aleph Wa Lamed, Paul, wrote in the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 14. But let us look at the original science of this shadow law. Why did Yah give this protocol to the priests in the first place? Let us break down the word for corner. Pia, spelled P-Aleph-He. P is the mouth, meaning to speak or blow. Aleph is the ox head, meaning strength or leader. He is the man with arms raised, meaning to behold or reveal. So Pia is the mouth of the chief revelation. In biological engineering, hair and beards are not just cosmetic features. They are highly sensitive sensory arrays. The hair follicles on your face and head act as natural antennas designed to pick up subtle electromagnetic frequencies and changes in the pressurized dome firmament. By shaving and rounding the corners of the head, pagan priests in ancient Egypt were deliberately disabling their natural sensory arrays to align themselves with the low-frequency, static signals of their false gods. The law was a protective protocol to keep Israel's priests from mimicking the self-mutilating, signal-jamming practices of the heathen. This is confirmed in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 44, verse 20, where the priests were commanded not to shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long, but only poll their heads. If you choose to grow a beard today, do it for health and natural order, but do not let these self-righteous, legalistic bastards tell you that you are going to hell because you shaved your face. Your righteousness is found in obedience to the eternal moral commandments, not in facial hair. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh. This is a direct prohibition against physical hardware modification. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh. Let us break down the word for print or mark. Ketka, spelled Kof, Ket, Ayin, Hey. Kof is the horizon, meaning to gather or circle. Chet is the clay vessel, representing containment or mud. Ayin is the eye, meaning to see or experience. He is the man with arms raised, meaning to behold. Put that together, and Ketka means gathering the clay to block the eye of revelation. It is a deliberate act of defacing the physical vessel Yah designed. In hardware engineering, your body is a biological quantum computer. It is the most complex machine ever engineered, built with 37 trillion cells, a fiber optic nervous system, and a pressurized hydraulic circulatory system. When you get a tattoo, you are physically engraving foreign branding, malicious serial numbers, or unauthorized firmware modifications onto the chassis of Yah's masterpiece. You are injecting heavy metals, toxic inks, and synthetic pigments directly into your lymphatic system, clogging your body's natural filtration networks and lowering your physical frequency. The spiritual implication is even worse. In ancient times, cuttings and printed marks were used as biometric indicators of ownership, dedicating the individual to a specific dead ancestor or pagan deity. This connects to the wealth building and risk assessment principles of the book of Proverbs. In Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Getting inked up with pagan symbols, skulls, or even the names of your dead relatives is the definition of being simple-minded. You are installing a permanent spiritual tracker, a digital watermark of the adversary, directly onto your temple. This aligns with 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 19, which asks, if you do not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, which is in you, which ye have of Yah, and ye are not your own. If you are out here covering your skin in these filthy, demonic tattoos, you are defacing the Father's property. And let me tell you something about the judgment of Yah. When he returns to execute vengeance, he is going to melt that inked up, rebellious skin right off your bones. The heat of his wrath will make your flesh bubble and peel like burning plastic, and those tattoos you love so much will become the very fuel that feeds the fire of your destruction. Let us move to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughter, to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. This is an absolute, non-negotiable protocol for womb security and family network protection. Do not prostitute thy daughter, to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. Let us break down the word for whore or prostitute. Zana, spelled Zayn, Nun, He. Zayn is the weapon, meaning to cut, pierce, or harvest. Nun is the seed, meaning life or continuation. He is the man with arms raised, meaning to behold or reveal. So Zana is the weapon that cuts the seed of revelation. Prostitution is a weapon of mass destruction aimed directly at the genetic continuity of the nation. In technical terms, the womb of an Israelite woman is a highly secured, encrypted database designed to carry and multiply the holy seed of the covenant. Prostitution is the equivalent of opening up every port on a secure firewall, allowing any dirty, malicious, unverified external device to establish a peer-to-peer connection and upload Trojan viruses and corrupted data packets into the local area network of the family. It completely destroys the biometric integrity of the bloodline. This is why the land becomes full of wickedness. The Hebrew word is zimah, which means plan, plot, or mischief. When you allow your daughters to sell their bodies, you are introducing systemic chaos. You are breeding bastards, spreading physical and spiritual diseases, and destroying the patriarchal order that Yah established to keep our nation stable. This connects directly to the graphic descriptions of spiritual betrayal in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, where Yah describes Israel as a whoring woman who spread her legs for every passerby, multiplying her whoredoms and defiling her beauty. When our women sell their bodies for paper currency, or when you lazy-minded, trifling fathers let your daughters dress like street-walking sluts, shaking their asses on social media for likes and attention, you are operating in the frequency of Jezebel witchcraft. You are inviting the curse of barrenness, shame, and violent destruction into your household. Yah will judge you as a pimp, and he will cast your entire family into the outer darkness where there is weeping and gnashing of teeth. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 30. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh. Look at how the master programmer repeats this command. He already stated it in verse 3, and now he executes the code again. Why? Because repetition in scripture is a divine witness, establishing a permanent system requirement. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh. Let us break down the word for sanctuary. Mikdash, spelled Mem, Kuf, Dalet, Shin. Mem is the water, representing chaos or flow. Kuf is the horizon, meaning to gather or circle. Dalet is the door, meaning entrance. Shin is the teeth, meaning to consume or destroy. Put it together, and Mikdash means the flowing water that gathers the door of consuming holiness. It is the secure environment where the presence of Yah dwells. In computer science, the Sabbath is your scheduled system reboot, and the sanctuary is the secure server room containing the core processor. Reverencing the sanctuary means maintaining absolute physical and spiritual security protocols around the core. You do not walk into the server room with a cup of coffee, sticky fingers, and dirty boots. You do not let unauthorized users touch the mainframe. This connects to Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 12, where Yah declares that he gave them his Sabbaths to be a sign between him and them, that they might know that he is Yad-Heh-Wah-Heh, that sanctifies them. Keeping the Sabbath from Saturday sunrise to sunset is how you keep your connection to the server secure. If you violate the Sabbath, and if you treat the assembly of the saints with disrespect, talking loud, acting foolish, and bringing the filth of the world into the set-apart space, you are committing a high-level security breach. Yah will personally revoke your access keys, lock you out of the system, and leave you vulnerable to the predatory nations that are waiting to devour you. Let us proceed to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 31. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them. I am Yod Hey Wah Hey, your Elohim. This is the firewall protocol against external spiritual hacking. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them. I am Yod Hey Wah Hey, your Elohim. Let us look at the Hebrew word for familiar spirits. Ob, spelled Aleph Bet. Aleph is the ox head, meaning strength or leader. Bet is the tent or house. So Ob is the leader of the house. It refers to a medium or a human vessel that allows an external, opposing spirit to speak through them. The word for wizards is Yadoni, spelled Yad, Dalit, Ayin, Nun, Yad, which means the knowing ones. In modern technology, seeking after mediums, tarot card readers, psychics, or root doctors is the equivalent of installing a backdoor or a rootkit in your operating system. You are allowing malicious human adversaries and rogue programs to execute remote code on your hardware. You think you are just getting a harmless reading or trying to find out when you are going to get some money, but in reality, you are granting administrative privileges to a hacker. The moment you consult these frauds, you defile your temple. The Hebrew word is tameh, which means to contaminate or pollute. This is confirmed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 8, verse 19, which asks, when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep and that mutter, should not a people seek unto their Elohim, for the living to the dead? Let me destroy a major piece of Christian church bullshit right here. There are no supernatural winged demons floating around in the air. That is pagan mythology designed to make you scared of the dark. The spirits and demons mentioned in scripture are references to mental illness, disturbed minds, and human adversaries operating in low-frequency rebellion. When you go to a psychic, you are dealing with a human con artist who is running social engineering scripts on your simple ass, using code reading techniques to hack your mind. You are letting another human being inject confusion into your thoughts, and Yah says that makes you unclean. If you want answers, you do not go to a witch. You establish a secure network connection with the Creator through prayer, fasting, and Torah obedience. Let us look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy Elohim. I am Yad-Heh, Wah-Heh. This is the protocol for database preservation and system hierarchy. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head and honor the face of the old man and fear thy Elohim. I am Yod-Heh, Wah-Heh. Let us break down the word for old man or elder. Zaquin, spelled Zayin, Kof, Nun. Zayin is the weapon, meaning to cut or harvest. Kof is the horizon, meaning to gather. Nun is the seed, meaning life or continuation. So Zaquin means the harvested weapon that gathers the seed. Elders are the deep archives of the nation. They are the legacy databases containing decades of compiled operational logs, historical data, and system optimization strategies. In engineering terms, modern society teaches you to delete old files. It teaches you to discard legacy systems and worship the newest, flashiest software update. That is a fatal error. When you disrespect your elders, when you ignore the hoary head, which refers to the gray hair of wisdom, you are wiping your system log files and deleting your historical backup drives. You lose your reference points. You have no historical data to guide your future decisions, which is why young people are out here making the same stupid-ass mistakes over and over again, crashing their lives because they refuse to consult the legacy database. This aligns with the wealth-building wisdom of the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 31, which teaches that the hoary head is a crown of glory if it be found in the way of righteousness. You young, arrogant, hot-headed Negroes need to shut the hell up and listen to the men and women who survived the trenches of Jim Crow, segregation, and the brutal streets before you were even a thought in your mother's womb. Rise up when an elder walks in the room. Show some goddamn respect. If you do not honor the legacy hardware, Yah will make sure your days are cut short and you will never live long enough to grow a gray hair of your own. Let us transition to the laws concerning the treatment of the returning brothers. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 33. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, ye shall not vex him. Now, we must apply our linguistic forensics to this verse to tear down a massive, centuries-old scribal deception. The word stranger in your English Bible is a deliberate trap designed to make you think Yah wants you to embrace the very heathen nations that enslaved you. That is a lie straight from the pits of hell. The Hebrew word underneath stranger in this verse is ger, spelled Gimel Resh. Gimel is the camel, representing travel, walking, or carrying. Resh is the head, meaning the chief or first. So ger literally means the traveler returning to the head. The ger is not a foreigner of another bloodline. The ger is a scattered, displaced Israelite, specifically from the northern kingdom, the 10 tribes who were driven off and dispersed, who is waking up and journeying back to the camp. He is our own kin, our flesh and blood, trying to reconnect to the covenant. In technical terms, the returning ger is a disconnected node trying to sync back with the main network. The Father commands, ye shall not vex him. The word for vex is yana, which means to oppress, suppress, or maltreat. In computer networking, when a disconnected device attempts to authenticate and sync with the server, the network administrator does not drop its packets, block its IP, or flood it with error messages. You facilitate the handshake. You help the node complete the security protocols so it can run the system software smoothly. This is confirmed in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 47, verse 22, which prophesies that when the land is divided in the end times, the ger who sojourns among you and begets children shall have inheritance with you, and they shall be unto you as born in the country among the children of Yisrael. If a brother is waking up to this truth, even if he is unlearned, even if he still has some church garbage in his mind, you do not treat him like dirt. You do not mock him or push him away. You guide him, you teach him, and you help him patch his errors so we can build a unified, high-frequency network. Let us read Leviticus chapter 19, verse 34. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am Yad-Heh, Wah-Heh, your Elohim. This is the completion of the network integration protocol. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am Yad-Heh, Wah-Heh, your Elohim. Look at the historical data Yah uses to validate this command. He reminds Israel, for ye were strangers in the land of Egypt. When our ancestors were in Egypt, we were the disconnected nodes, the oppressed ger living in a foreign system. We know what it feels like to have our packets dropped, our labor stolen, and our hardware abused. In engineering terms, once a returning node passes biometric authentication, meaning they return to the bloodline covenant and submit to the Torah, they must be granted full read/write permissions and system privileges. They are no longer quarantined. They are as one born among you. You must love them as yourself, establishing perfect phase alignment. This connects to the foundational law in the book of Exodus, chapter 12, verse 49, which declares that one law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. This completely destroys the division in the Hebrew Israelite community, where camps are arguing over who is a real Israelite based on what island they came from or what language they speak. If you are a scatter Negro, whether you were dragged to Jamaica, Brazil, Haiti, Colombia, or the cotton fields of Mississippi, you are the same blood, the same seed, and the same hardware. We must integrate, protect each other, and operate as one single, unhackable mainframe under Yah. Let us look at the financial and transactional protocols in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 35. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Now we are getting into the technical specifications of commerce. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Let us break down the word for measure. Mida, spelled Mem, Dalet, He. Mem is the water, meaning flow or chaos. Dalet is the door. He is the man with arms raised, meaning to behold. So Mida is the flowing water that opens the door of revelation. It is the standard of comparison. In physical engineering, you cannot build a stable structure without standardized units of measurement. If your inch, your foot, your pound, or your liter is constantly changing, your blueprints are useless. The bridge will collapse, the engine will seize, and the building will fall. In financial engineering, the same principle applies. This verse is a direct command regarding transaction security and data integrity. The meat yard refers to length, the weight refers to mass, and the measure refers to volume. Yah is the master engineer, and he has hard-coded the physical constants of the universe, the speed of light, the gravitational constant, the density of water, to be absolute and unalterable. He expects his covenant people to operate with the same mathematical honesty in their economic transactions. This aligns with the wealth building mechanics of the book of Proverbs, chapter 11, verse 1, which teaches that a false balance is abomination to Yod, He Wahe, but a just weight is his delight. When you run a business and you cheat your customers, shortchange your workers, or use deceptive marketing to sell garbage products, you are injecting corrupt data into the economic network. You are running a scamming script, and Yah will personally execute a system wipe on your bank accounts, leaving you bankrupt and begging for bread. Let us read Leviticus chapter 19, verse 36. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am Yod He Wahe, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Look at the specific hardware requirements Yah demands. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. Let us break down the word for balances in the Paleo-Hebrew. Moznayin, spelled Mem, Zayin, Nun, Yud, Mem. Mem is water, meaning flow. Zayin is the weapon, meaning to cut or balance. Nun is the seed. Yud is the hand, representing work. Mem is water. Put it together, and Moznayin means the flowing weapon that cuts and balances the work of the seed. It is the tool of absolute equity. In modern financial technology, this is the equivalent of cryptographic consensus and zero-knowledge proofs. When you make a transaction on a blockchain ledger, the transaction is not validated by some corrupt banker's opinion. It is verified by exact, unalterable mathematical proofs. The ledger must balance perfectly across every node on the network. The ephah was the standard dry measure, and the hin was the standard liquid measure. By mandating just standards, Yah is outlawing inflation, currency debasement, and fractional reserve banking. Let me drop some heavy economic truth on you. The modern fiat currency system of Babylon, the Federal Reserve, the central banks, the paper dollars that are backed by absolutely nothing but the military force of the beast, is a direct violation of this verse. They print trillions of dollars out of thin air, debasing the currency, stealing the purchasing power of your labor, and forcing you into debt slavery. It is a system of false weights and measures. This is confirmed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 20, verse 23, which declares that divers weights are an abomination unto Yahweh, and a false balance is not good. The serpent seed has built their entire global empire on this financial fraud. But Yah says he is the one who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. He did not free you from physical slavery in Egypt just to let you become financial slaves to the banking cartels of Babylon. We have to build our own economic networks, trade in real assets like land, silver, and gold, and deal with absolute, uncompromised mathematical honesty among ourselves. Let us close this entire chapter with Leviticus chapter 19, verse 37. Therefore shall you observe all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them. I am Yahweh. This is the final execution command, the compilation of the entire holiness operating system. Therefore shall ye observe all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them. I am Yahweh. Look at how the Father concludes this transmission. He does not say, think about my statutes, discuss my judgments, or have an emotional feeling about them. He says, do them. In computer programming, you can write the most beautiful, elegant, high-performance source code in the world. But if you never compile the code and execute the program, it is nothing but dead text on a screen. It does absolutely nothing. The power is in the execution. This aligns with what is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 4, where the Father commands us to keep his precepts diligently. When you observe and do the laws of Yah, you are compiling the code of holiness. You are running the uncorrupted operating system of the covenant. You are aligning your physical vessel, your family network, and your national economy with the high-frequency power grid of the master engineer. But if you refuse to execute the program, if you continue to run the corrupted, malware-infested scripts of Sunday church Christianity, integration, feminism, and financial fraud, you are a broken node. You are a security threat to the camp, and the judgment of Yah will be executed upon you with graphic, terrifying finality. When the sky splits open and the pressurized dome firmament vibrates with the voice of the returning king, there will be no time to patch your errors. The system will be purged. The firewalls of his wrath will go up, and every rebellious, disobedient soul will be permanently deleted from the book of life. This brings us to the end of our three-part investigation of Leviticus chapter 19. We have gone verse by verse from the foundational architecture of holiness to the precise mechanics of transactional justice. The code is tight, the science is absolute, and the blueprint is clear. Now, I am calling you to an altar call of absolute, uncompromised obedience. This is not a generic call to be a good person. This is a specific, high-voltage demand to clean up your hardware. If you are still eating blood, stuffing your face with the dead, rotting flesh of animal sacrifices whose shadow era ended 2,000 years ago when Yad He Wah Shin Ayin shed his perfect blood, you need to repent today. Stop poisoning the temple Yah engineered and return to the plant-based, high-frequency diet of the Garden of Eden. If you are still defacing your skin with pagan tattoos, seeking after psychics, mediums, or horoscopes, or letting your daughters dress like whoring streetwalkers, you need to shut down those back doors, run a complete system restore, and purge that malware from your household. If you are running businesses that cheat your brothers, delaying payments to your workers, or holding on to grudges that throw our collective network out of phase, you need to execute the patch of righteous judgment today. We must stand synchronized in perfect phase alignment, keeping the Sabbath from Saturday sunrise to sunset and honoring the legacy of our elders. I want to thank you for tuning in to this three-part episode of Yah First Ministries. Share this broadcast with every sleeping, dry-boned Israelite in your contact list. Wake them up with the raw, uncut meat of the word. This is your brother Bazaliel, signing off from the trenches of Torah truth. Keep your eyes on the firmament. Keep your minds locked into the frequency of the covenant. And keep Yah first in everything you do. Until the next transmission, peace, life, and consuming fire to the elect. Yah bless.
They try to break me down. But I'm a daughter of the King. Watch me rise.
And I'm here to lift you up. Daughter of Zion, you enough. Let's go.
Proverbs 31, that's the woman I strive to be. Virtuous and strong, worth more than ruby seed. They told me sit down, told me shut my mouth. But Deborah was a judge leading Israel out. Judges 4:4, prophetess leading the nation. Woman of Yah got divine authorization. Esther saved her people with courage and grace. Chapter 4:14, born for such a time and place. I'm not weak a vessel when it comes to the faith. 2 Timothy 1:7, power, love, and sound mind state.
I see you, sister, I see your worth and your crown. You the backbone of this nation, hold it down. Ruth showed loyalty, follow Naomi true. Book of Ruth, chapter 1, that's the standard pursue. Hannah prayed in the temple, gave birth to the priest. 1 Samuel, one woman's prayer brought Israel peace. I'm here to cover, here to protect what's mine. Daughter of the King, walking in her divine design. You not beneath me, you right here by my side. Together we building, restoring Israel's pride.
Rise up, daughter, rise up now. Your royalty, you wear your crown. Rise up, daughter, don't back down. Daughters of Zion, taking back the ground. Rise up, son, rise up too. We both got a kingdom work to do. Rise up, Israel, this our time. Children of Yah, about to shine. They want me quiet, they want me in my place. But I'm a daughter of Zion, standing in grace. Mary bore the Messiah, trusted in the call. Luke 1:38, handmaid, giving her all. Miriam led worship after crossing the sea. Exodus 15:20, prophetess leading free. I birthed a nation, I teach the next seed. Deuteronomy 6:7, passing truth they need. Modesty, my armor, Torah is my guide. I'm a Hebrew woman with that righteous pride.
And I'm a Hebrew man who honors what you bring. You the helper, Yah design. You my queen, Genesis 2:18. Companion by my side, not my enemy. You my cover bride, I lead with Torah. You submit the truth. Together we raising up that righteous youth. No European lies, no feminist confusion, just biblical order. That's our resolution. You shine when I shine, I win when you win. Tribe of Judah, move and let the restoration begin.
Rise up, daughter, rise up now. Your royalty, you wear your crown. Rise up, daughter, don't back down. Daughters of Zion, taking back the ground. Rise up, son, rise up too. We both got a kingdom work to do. Rise up, Israel, this our time. Children of Yah, about to shine. Not the white man's woman, I'm an Israelite. Covered in my beauty, walking in the light.
You not the world standard, you a Hebrew rose. Daughter of Jerusalem, everybody knows. We building Zion, brick by brick today. Next generation watching what we say.